Hey guys, George at SoundTraxx here, and this week I wanted to talk about one of the types of decoders that tends to get overlooked a lot when we're talking about our Blunami, Tsunami2 and so forth, and all the features, and that's the decoders for electrics. Do you have an electric? Well, let's come on along and let's learn about electric decoders from SoundTraxx. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of times when I'm doing these videos, I tend to focus more on the steam and diesel. And I'm not necessarily trying to ignore the electrics. They have a lot of the same features that we talk about with our steam and diesel, such as dynamic digital exhaust, selectable air horns, bells, and so forth. But the difference is that the electrics don't have the different prime movers, and there's not that many models that are out there, or at least was. Now, as we're coming along, you're seeing more and more companies putting out models for electrics, so I wanted to remind you that we do have a product for electrics. Now, the electric decoders are actually available in our Tsunami2 and Blunami product line, and both of those have the same features, bells and whistles, if you will, and so forth that we've put into these decoders, so that way you can get the most out of your model. You can model everything from a heavy electric like a GG1, a Milwaukee Little Joe, or even this EP5 sitting here in front of me by Rapido Trains, all the way down to a trolley or streetcar, even a subway car, or something along those lines that tend to run on electric power as well. So when we talk about our electrics, we've got a lot of sounds built into there. And there's a lot of air horns and whistles that you can use for electrics, all the way up to, and even trolley cars, street cars, things like that. One of the really neat light features that we have built into the decoder is the brake light. And so as you're running, your trolley or streetcar can have a dim light, but when you use the F11 brake, it immediately brightens up to show that you're actually using the brakes. So there's a lot of really cool things. And so just to kind of show you today, I've got this EP5 here in front of me. And so we're just going to make a couple of minor sound selections so that way you can kind of get a feel for what's involved in our electric decoders. So with this, obviously we have our headlight, we've got our bell and our horn, which would be typical of a typical locomotive. And that's the A200 that's mixed specifically for the GG1 sound. But on this particular model, we've actually got Hancock air whistles. So we're going to go ahead and change that, and we're going to find it. We're going to show you how easy it is. First off, so let's go ahead and just change the Hancock air whistle. So we're going to go ahead and hit our gear settings down here on the bottom. And you're seeing this screen up behind me somewhere. We're going to go to sound settings, and you can see here on this main settings page that I actually have it labeled for the New Haven EP5 number 372. And I've actually set the DCC address to 372. But when we go to sound settings and we go to main sounds, this is where we have our air horn right there at the top. It's the Wabco E2. I'm sorry, I lied. It was the E2, not the A200. My apologies. Anyway, but you can scroll through this list here and you can see all the different types of air horns and so forth that are optional. And there's the E2 mix for that. So now we come over here, there's the Hancock air whistle. So we're going to click that. And then now when I play the air whistle or the air horn, you can hear that it has a very distinct different sound. So again, we're making CV changes. We're just doing it through the intuitive and free Blunami app. Now these are just some of the settings that you can do. You've got the sounds on here for the Pantograph. So when we power up, you'll actually hear the Pantograph come on, but I'm going to go ahead and drop it first so you can hear the Pantograph drop, which would then be the electric power coming to the model. And if there's no electric power, there's no appliances running on the locomotive. So once that closes up and everything winds to a quiet, we're going to go ahead and trigger our Pantograph again to trigger it to come up. So you hear the Pantograph popping up. And then once it hits that wire, now all the power's flowing. Now all the compressors and the blowers and all that other stuff can run in the background. Now, some of the things in here can be related to trolleys. So we have the stop request, which is just a quick pull on the string inside this trolley trigger a bell sound, and you can get that sound. Here's another one that's kind of important is you've got the doors, so the pneumatic doors that are on the sides of trolleys or streetcars, things like that. So you can press that. You hear the doors open, and then when you turn it off, they close. And that's neat. You also have the trolley bell, so you can kind of ring the trolley bell as you're running along. And you'll see a lot of other similar things in here, including all the lights. Now on this particular model, they have the front number boards and rear number boards wired separately, and we can simply turn them on and off with the function buttons, and we can relabel them here so that we know what they are. Now, part of the reason I wanted to mention some of these sound effects in here, such as the the pneumatic doors and stuff like that, is because along when the model is running, you can see the model run, you'll get the sound of the traction motors run, and you'll get the wheel clickety-clack. So we'll come to a stop. Now, let's say for argument's sake, you had one of those new cab cars that are out in the world and need a 21-pin decoder. Well, since we don't make a 21-pin sound card decoder, you can use the 21-pin for the either the Tsunami2 or Blunami for electrics and plug it in. You would basically take the traction motors, turn them to 0 for volume, and you still get the door request, and you can have headlight, horn, and bell, and all the other lights. So you have access to all of that, all without the sound of the traction motor. And as you run with a non-zero, you'll hear that click, 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 click. And when you set the brakes, of course, you can hear the brake squeal as it runs to a stop. So these are all settings that you can do to really get the most out of your electric decoder. So there's more than just electrics that these can be used for. And especially if you're looking at the Blunami options for your locomotive in the cab car configuration, you can use the Blunami for electrics, put it in the cab of your cab car, plug it in, and then you can use the Blunami app to consystem. And remember that button, make lead? That's right. The Blunami app will allow you to determine which locomotive or car has the horn and bell and headlights on. So that way you have full control of your train with the ease of using Blunami through the app. Now, for those of you who are interested in electrics, we have done a full deep dive into all the features that are built into the electric decoders. If you go to our YouTube channel and search SoundTraxx Webinar 12 on electrics, we do a deep dive into all the features, the sound effects, show you some of the lighting effects, things like that you can get in these electric decoders. Also, we'll try to put a link in the description below. So with that, hopefully this is kind of giving you guys a reminder that we do have decoders for electrics. We do have the ability to service all of your sound needs for your model trains, no matter what you're looking for. So when you're picking the electrics, you want to look at your board format, look at the electrics, and find the one that fits best for you. Guys, if you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave any comments below or email us at support@soundtraxx.com. We'll be able to help answer the questions, give you examples, and send you some links to the videos, or send you some links in our user's guides to help you find how to set up the decoders to get them running the way you want to. All that and more information at soundtraxx.com. So guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Please leave us a like if you like this content, and we'll try to keep you informed as we put out more information every week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.